Line number 61 to 69. In this decayed hole among the mountains. In the faint moonlight, the grass is singing. Over the tumbled graves, about the chapel. There is the empty chapel, only the wind's home. It has no windows, and the door swings. Dry bones can harm no one. Only a cock stood on the roof tree. Company 𝚂𝚑𝚎. In a flash of lightning. Then a damp gust. Bringing rain. Explanation. The opening lines of this passage create a vivid and eerie atmosphere, describing a desolate and decayed place in the mountains where even the grass seems to sing in the faint moonlight. The use of tumbled graves and empty chapel suggests a sense of abandonment and decay. The repetition of only emphasizes the emptiness and isolation of the chapel, which is described as the wind's home. The absence of windows and the swinging door give the impression of a place that is completely exposed to the elements and abandoned by humans. The sudden appearance of a cock on the roof tree and its crowing in the midst of a flash of lightning creates a moment of intensity and tension. The imagery of the damp gust bringing rain is a contrast to the dryness of the rest of the scene and hints at the possibility of renewal or change. The phrase, "dry bones can harm no one," is a reference to the book of Ezekiel in the Bible, where the prophet sees a valley of dry bones that are brought back to life by the breath of God. This reference adds to the sense of decay and abandonment in the passage, but also hints at the possibility of renewal or resurrection. The passage as a whole creates a haunting and atmospheric scene that is open to multiple interpretations and meanings. Line number 70 to 74. Ganga was sunken, and the limp leaves waited for rain, while the black clouds gathered far distant, over 𝚘𝚘𝚎. The jungle crouched, humped in silence. Then spoke the thunder. Explanation. These lines are from T.S. Eliot's poem, The Wasteland, which is a complex and multi-layered work that draws upon various literary, religious, and cultural traditions to present a portrait of a civilization in decline. In this particular passage, the focus is on the natural world, which is portrayed as parched and waiting for rain. The reference to Ganga, or the Ganges River, which is sacred in Hinduism, suggests a spiritual longing for renewal or redemption. The description of the jungle as crouched, humped in silence, creates a sense of foreboding or anticipation, as if something significant is about to happen. This is echoed by the arrival of the thunder, which serves as a powerful and dynamic force that disrupts the stagnant and lifeless atmosphere. Overall, these lines can be read as a metaphor for the larger themes of the poem, such as the need for regeneration and the search for meaning in a world that has lost its sense of purpose. The juxtaposition of the natural and spiritual realms also suggests a connection between the two, as if the restoration of the natural world is tied to the restoration of the human soul. Line number 75 to 83. 𝚑𝚑𝚎. What have we given? My friend, blood shaking my heart. The awful daring of a moment's surrender, which an age of prudence can never retract. By this, and this only, we have existed, which is not to be found in our obituaries, or in memories draped by the beneficent spider, or under seals broken by the lean solicitor. In our empty rooms. Explanation. The section, 𝚫, in T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, is a brief interlude that consists of a speaker's meditation on the nature of giving and sacrifice. The speaker, using the persona of an unnamed friend, questions what they have truly given in their life. This contemplation is prompted by the blood shaking in their heart, suggesting a visceral emotional response. The speaker then describes an awful daring of a moment's surrender, which they claim is the only thing that has allowed them to exist. This surrender is contrasted with an age of prudence, suggesting that society values caution and restraint over bold action. The phrase, which is not to be found in our obituaries, suggests that the kind of daring surrender the speaker is referring to is not the sort of thing that can be quantified or captured in a written record. Memories, the speaker implies, are also unreliable, as they are subject to the distortions of time and the human mind. The final line, in our empty rooms, may be interpreted in a few different ways. One interpretation is that it suggests that even when we are alone, we cannot escape the consequences of our actions or inaction. Another possible interpretation is that it suggests the ultimate emptiness or futility of life if we do not give or sacrifice anything. Overall, the section, 𝚫, seems to be a brief but poignant meditation on the nature of existence and the importance of daring to give or sacrifice in order to truly live. Line number 84 to 89. 𝚑𝚑𝚎. I have heard the key. Turn in the door once and turn once only. We think of the key, each in his prison. Thinking of the key, each confirms a prison. Only at nightfall, ethereal rumors revive for a moment a broken Coriolanus. Explanation. These lines are the third and final section of the poem, The Wasteland, by T.S. Eliot. 𝚑𝚑𝚎 is a Sanskrit word that means, sympathize, or, show compassion, and it is used here to suggest a call for empathy and understanding. The first two lines describe the turning of a key in a door, which can be interpreted as a symbol of release or escape. However, the following lines suggest that this key is not a physical one, but rather a metaphorical one that represents the hope of freedom or liberation from one's own limitations or self-imposed restrictions. The line, thinking of the key, each confirms a prison, implies that one's fixation on the idea of escape or freedom can actually reinforce their feeling of being trapped or imprisoned. The only time when hope is revived is, at nightfall, ethereal rumors, which suggests a fleeting and ephemeral moment of hope or inspiration. The reference to broken Coriolanus is an allusion to the Shakespearean play, Coriolanus, which tells the story of a Roman general who is banished from his city and seeks revenge. The use of this reference suggests a sense of disillusionment with traditional heroic narratives and a questioning of the value of revenge and aggression. Overall, these lines suggest a call for empathy and understanding, and a recognition of the ways in which our own mental constructs and fixations can limit our ability to experience freedom and liberation. Line number 90 to 94. D.A. Damyata. The boat responded gaily, to the hand expert with sail and oar. The sea was calm, your heart would have responded gaily, when invited, being obedient to controlling hands. Explanation. These lines are the final words of the poem, The Wasteland, and are associated with the theme of redemption and salvation. Damyata is a Sanskrit word that means, to control, or, to restrain. In the context of the poem, it is a call to the reader to exercise self-control, to restrain their passions and desires, and to submit to a higher moral authority. The image of the boat responding gaily to the hand expert with sail and oar suggests a sense of harmony and balance. The boat is a symbol of the self, and the expert hand represents the guiding force that can steer the self towards the right path. The sea being calm suggests a sense of peace and tranquility, and the heart beating obediently to the controlling hand suggests a sense of surrender to a higher power. Overall, the lines encourage the reader to cultivate self-discipline and to submit to a higher moral authority in order to achieve redemption and salvation. Line number 95 to 105, last part. I sat upon the shore, fishing, with the arid plain behind me. Shall I at least set my lands in order? London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. 𝚂𝚎𝚌𝚡𝚎 Quando 𝚘𝚑𝚎 oh swallow swallow. Le Prince d'Aquitaine la tour 𝚘𝚊𝚜. These fragments I have shored against my ruins. Why then ill fit you? Hieronymus mad again. Data. 𝚑𝚑𝚎 Damyata. Shanti shanti shanti. Explanation. This is the final section of The Wasteland, by T.S. Eliot, and it's a culmination of the various themes and images presented throughout the poem. The speaker is reflecting on his own situation, sitting on the shore with the arid plain behind me. He questions whether he should set his lands in order before the inevitable collapse and decay. The repetition of London Bridge is falling down may be a metaphor for the decline of modern civilization. The following lines include various fragmented references, including a quote from Dante's Purgatorio, a reference to the swallow in Greek mythology, and a reference to the medieval French poem, Le Roman de la Rose. These fragments may represent the disordered and fragmented nature of modernity, which lacks a unifying narrative or mythology. The final lines repeat the three Sanskrit words, data, 𝚑𝚑𝚎, Damyata, which translate to give, sympathize, control. This may suggest that, despite the chaos and disorder of the modern world, there is still hope for humanity to find order and meaning through acts of charity, empathy, and self-control. The final word, shanti, is repeated 3 times, and it means peace, or tranquility, in Sanskrit. The repetition of this word creates a sense of closure and finality, as if the speaker has found some sense of peace or resolution in the chaos and decay of modernity.